It is exactly 9 o'clock East African time. Good evening from the broadcasting headquarters of TV47 and welcome to the Daily Report. I am George Maringa. On sign language interpretation tonight is Irene Chebiwot. You can also scan the QR code at the bottom end of your screen to be able to get more news and content, especially on our website. It is Monday, and as is the norm, we bring you power and politics. And tonight we bring you a man who has been ranked best performing in the devolved government. That is none other than Murang'a Governor, the Honorable Dr. Irungu Kang'ata. He will be joining us live in studio tonight to be able to understand what exactly he is doing to the people of County 021, Murang'a County, and why there is a success story in that front. That county has also been able to attain own source revenue collection of up to 100%. The Controller of Budget released a report just about a fortnight ago, and we shall also be debunking that and what that means on matters devolution and service delivery. Irungu Kang'ata, the Honorable Governor of Murang'a County, will be our guest tonight as we also discuss other issues to do with service delivery and governance. Start engaging us on X, formerly Twitter. You can find us on @TV47 News, or you can post to me directly. I am at George Maringa _. The SMS line is 22047. Start with your name, where you're watching us from, followed by your question, comment, or feedback regarding the program tonight. By the way, tonight we also ask, are you satisfied with the work that your governor is doing, and where would you like them to improve? Are you satisfied with what or how the governor of your county is performing, and where would you like them to improve their performance on? Also go ahead and tell us. You can also tune in to be able to have some benchmarking solutions regarding governance and service delivery. All that and much more coming your way right here on TV47, your home of untold stories. We thank you for choosing TV47, your qualified channel. But before then, let's give you a glimpse of what is making headlines tonight. The unthinkable yet inevitable based on recent events has happened. A censure motion against the Deputy President. We tell you what this means and whether this can get Gachagua gone. The family of a missing MCA believed to be abducted is calling in the newly sworn-in IG to locate their kin.
Tafadhali sana, sisi tunasikitika sana. Inatuuma. Yule kijana ana watoto, ana familia, na sisi pia ni jamii yake.
And senators are asking, why Adani? What happened to the 3 other companies who had expressed interest in managing JKIA? And what happens to the current employees if a new company takes over? Questions, questions, questions. You can follow us on our terrestrial platforms as well as our website and YouTube channel. We thank you for joining us. As mentioned, Irene Chebiwot is on sign language interpretation. My name is George Maringa. Thank you for joining us. Now, almost 2 weeks since the alleged abduction of Dela Ward MCA Yusuf Hussein Abdi by unknown people, his family cries out to newly sworn-in Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to recover their kin.
A desperate but hopeful family of Dela Ward MCA and Wajir County Assembly Minority Leader Yusuf Hussein Abdi is now calling upon the newly sworn-in Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to intervene in their search of their kin following his alleged abduction.
We're asking the head of DCI, the Director General DCI, and the Inspector General, the new Inspector General who has come to the office, please produce our son. We are disjointed, the family is disoriented, we do not know the situation that is covering our brother.
MCAs from Mombasa have as well demanded for justice for their colleague, urging President William Ruto to keep his promise of ending abductions and extrajudicial killings.
We are really tired of harassment, tired of judicial killing, tired of abduction, mysterious whereby no one can even say where it has, how it had happened.
Kuna idara ya upelelezi ambaye inaweza kupeleleza na ikajua ni watu gani wamemchukua huyo kijana ambaye ni kiongozi wa Kenya, ni kati ya kiongozi ambaye amechaguliwa. Tafadhali sana, sisi tunasikitika sana, inatuuma. Yule kijana ana watoto, ana familia, na sisi pia ni jamii yake. Inatuuma sana kumpoteza mtu bila sababu.
On his part, Council of Imams and Preachers of Kenya Treasurer Sheikh Hassan Omar said they want the abducted MCA to be produced in court if he is at any point held by the state.
Tunaomba serikali kwa heshima, ikiwa Yusuf Hussein yuko mkononi mwao, lazima kwanza waeleze Yusuf Hussein yuko wapi. Jambo la kwanza ile tujue Yusuf Hussein yu hai ama amekufa.
The Directorate of Criminal Investigations have been asked to thoroughly investigate the matter without bias.
Tungependa serikali ingilie, idara ya polisi, idara ya uchunguzi. Tafadhali ni tuomba sana, na Bwana Rais, tunakuomba sana. Sisi kama jamii ambaye tulikuchagua, huyu kijana ni mtoto wetu, na ni mtoto ambaye amechaguliwa na jamii yake, ni kiongozi. Kiongozi atapotea vipi na serikali ikose kujua?
The Delaware MCA and Wajir County Assembly minority leader was reportedly abducted by armed people in Nairobi on 13th September at night on his way home in Pangani. Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Thank you, Chichi. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has apprehended 2 out of 4 suspects allegedly involved in the embezzlement of 296 million shillings of public funds from West Pokot County. Mary Ngoriakes and Matthew Arusio, former Chief Officer Education and County Director of Basri respectively, who served in the Education Department of West Pokot County, were arrested on Monday and are being held at the Eldoret Central Police Station awaiting arraignment on Tuesday. According to the EACC, Ngoriakes and Arusio are allegedly said to be at the center of misappropriating funds allocated for bursary and school construction between the fiscal years of 2017-2018 and 2021-2022. The EACC has recommended that the 2 be charged with 9 counts, further urging the other suspects or 2 suspects to surrender. To the story that has made headlines across the day, where Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana has filed a motion of censure against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, a step which could exacerbate the nation's second-in-command's headache and further alienate him from government officials. And as Mike Kagwongo reports, the approval of the censure motion could damage Gachagua's reputation and lessen his political influence, even though it lacks the legal power to remove him from office. Take a look.
The senators are now set to discuss Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's conduct in the plenary of the Senate. Should Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana's censure motion be approved? Accusing Gachagua of acting in a manner unbecoming of the position of Deputy President, Mungatana filed the motion with Senate Speaker Amason Kingi.
This is a censure motion which I have filed today with the office of the Speaker of the Senate. They will process it. Once we get approval, we shall table it before the House.
As the primary justification for the motion submitted to the Senate Speaker, Senator Mungatana accused Gachagua of marginalizing minority groups and making inciting remarks in what seemed to be an ongoing onslaught on the second-in-command.
The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has been conducting himself as if he belongs to only one region of the Republic of Kenya, to the exclusion of other regions of the Republic of Kenya.
MPs who have been quietly in favor of his impeachment are anticipated to discuss the matter, when it is brought up in Parliament.
A censure motion is a debate from the Senate to strongly show disapproval in the manner in which the current holder of that office is conducting himself.
Away from the corridors of Parliament, COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli reiterated his previous stance that the DP should be an appointment of the President rather than a running mate, declaring that there will be no such debates as is being experienced at the moment. This as members of Nairobi's County Assembly, affiliated to United Democratic Alliance UDA, urged President William Ruto to resolve the party's escalating political tensions.
We call upon the President and the Deputy President to call the Kenya Kwanza troops to order. Nairobi is very cosmopolitan and need to be handled with care.
The supposed impeachment motion has further alienated the DP in the Kenya Kwanza government, adding to his mounting isolation. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mike. Let's now look at what the Constitution says about removal of a Deputy President. Article 150 of the Constitution states that the Deputy President may be removed from office on the grounds of physical or mental incapacity to perform the functions of the office, or B, on impeachment, on the ground of a gross violation of a provision of this Constitution or any other law, where there are serious reasons to believe that the Deputy President has committed a crime under national or international law. Number 3, for gross misconduct. The provisions of Article 144 and 145 relating to the removal of the Deputy President, or rather the President, shall apply with the necessary modifications to the removal of the Deputy President. Now, just to reiterate, the Article 144 and 145 on the removal of the President shall apply with modifications to the removal of the Deputy President. Let's now see what 145 talks about: removal of President by impeachment, which 150 says these provisions shall apply in the event of the Deputy President. Now, a member of the National Assembly, supported by at least a third of all the members, may move a motion for the impeachment of the Deputy President, A, on the ground of gross violation of a provision of the Constitution or of any other law. The Deputy President shall have the right to appear and be represented before the Special Committee during its investigations. If the Special Committee reports that the particulars of any allegation against the Deputy President, A, have not been substantiated, further proceedings shall not be taken under this article in respect of that allegation, or B, have been substantiated, the Senate shall, after according the President, or rather the Deputy President, an opportunity to be heard, vote on the impeachment charges. Now, if at least 2/3 of all the members of the Senate vote to uphold any impeachment charge, the Deputy President shall cease to hold office. That is what the Constitution says on the removal of the Deputy President on matters on grounds of impeachment. And it further says that Article 144 and 145 relating to the removal of President shall apply in the case of the Deputy President with the necessary modifications of that removal. Away from that, hundreds of residents from Monyerere Ward today protested over the collection of taxes at Tinga Market following a dispute between the two counties of Kisii and Nyamira over the ownership of the market and Tinga Health Center. The residents claimed that they have been neglected by the Nyamira County government and are demanding Tinga to be returned to Kisii County as it was before. This conflict comes months after the dispute over the Keroka area had calmed down. Our reporter Kombo Alfayo has been following these events and tells us more.
These are angry residents holding a peaceful protest at Tinga Market today, disrupting business activities due to what they term as inadequate provision of development projects from Nyamira County.
Hata ukiangalia wale watu ambao wanaenda kutibiwa hapo, 90% ni watu wa Kisii County. Watu wetu wanateseka kwa sababu Nyamira inajua hospitali iko Kisii County na soko liko Kisii County, hawafanye maendeleo hapo.
Some of these residents have urged the tax collector from Nyamira County to refrain from collecting taxes as they see no benefit despite paying taxes, as explained by Charles Nyaoga, a resident of Tinga area.
Tinga ilikuwa ya Kisii na hata kuna wakati mwingine karudi kuwa ya Nyamira, lakini tangu eende Nyamira no progress. Tulikuwa tunafanyiwa tinga, pesa zilikuwa sinasanywa sa revenue, sinaenda sinafanya progress indani, sababu wanasema hawezi fanya progress tinga sababu tinga sio yao, ni ya Kisii.
Tunapotafuta huduma muhimu ambayo inahusiana na mambo ya county council, tukienda Nyamira tunaambiwa hakuna records hapa. Kienda Kisii tunapata records ziko huko. Na hata hao watu wa Nyamira pengine wanawasema kwamba tinga iko Nyamira, si kwamba hawajui, wanajua tu.
These residents have complained about being abandoned by Nyamira County government, especially when it comes to development, and feel discriminated against its leadership. They are calling on the national government to clearly define the boundaries, as it is clearly stipulated where they belong.
Confusion inakuwa sasa, upande ya utawala ni Kisii, upande ya collection ya revenue ni Nyamira. Hatuna shida na Nyamira, hatuna shida na mtu yoyote. Wacha waachilie mambo ya tinga iende Kisii, na hatutaki tuone conflict ikitokea.
Munyoro Ward Representative Peter Otachi, who wrote a letter to the Nyamira County Speaker Enoch Okero last week asking them to stop collecting taxes from Tinga Market, has now urged the two governors to sit down and discuss the matter quickly to help bring them development to the area.
Hapo is very clear. Aweze kuhand over hii dispensary ije Kisii. Sababu hata tumeenda pale hakuna madaktari, madawa hakuna, hospitali iko tu vile ilijengwa na Dr. Zakari Onyonga, ili waweze kuona vile Kisii inaweza kutumika kusaidia watu wetu. Hata ukiangalia wale watu ambao wanaenda kutibiwa hapo, 90% ni watu wa Kisii County. So watu wetu wanateseka kwa sababu Nyamira inajua hospitali iko Kisii County na soko liko Kisii County, hawafanye maendeleo hapo.
This is not the first time these two counties have disputed border issues. Earlier this year, chaos were witnessed in Keroka town, leading to unresolved court cases. Business activities were disrupted, and even stalls were burned down following a dispute over collection of taxes in Keroka town for more than a month. Other areas of interest to Nyamira County includes Joko, the Agricultural Training College ATC, Kisii Bottlers, the proposed location where Kisii County is building its headquarters, the official residence of both the Speaker and Kisii County Governor.
Now, Treasury CS John Mbadi appeared before the Senate committee to address mounting skepticism of the controversial partnership between Kenya Airports Authority, KAA, and Adani Airport Holdings Limited. Lawmakers, including Senator Onyonka, raised serious concerns about the lack of an open tendering process, questioning why Adani was favored despite three other companies expressing interest. This has led to fears of favoritism and lack of transparency in a deal that could have significant implications for the future of JKIA. And Odida with the details.
The ongoing public-private partnership PPP project involving KAA and Adani has progressed through several phases, yet many Kenyans remain unconvinced. Then there is the matter of a feasibility study completed by Adani, which was later submitted by KAA, with KAA under fire for not conducting a feasibility study of their own.
There's information that the Sultanate of Abu Dhabi has got shareholdings to Adani. And there is also the issue that the Indian Prime Minister Honorable Modi actually controls 58% of the Adani empire. Do you have any such information or not?
The feasibility report submitted by Adani has not alleviated the growing public dissent. Many critics argue that bypassing competitive bidding undermines the integrity of this project. The deal is further complicated by worries that KAA employees may face job losses.
Page 27 on employees, it talks about the proponent proposes to offer employment to a mutually agreed percentage of current employees of the contracting authority on terms and conditions as provided in the concession agreement. What percentage were they proposing, if you're aware?
Despite approval from the National Treasury and the PPP committee, the deal has faced backlash over its lack of competitive bidding. Many question whether the government's push for partnership with Adani reflects a genuine effort to enhance JKIA or simply a decision made behind closed doors to benefit a few bigwigs.
Did you receive a letter through you, Chair, from any other company other than Adani requesting to do this project?
The answer is no.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to table, I have 3 letters which were written by two different companies. Adani was the third one.
Negotiations between KAA and Adani Airport Holdings began after the PPP committee's approval in mid-2024, but the absence of competitive bidding continues to fuel dissent. The Heads of Terms document, which outlines key terms for the partnership, has failed to quell public concerns. Essential directives from the PPP committee, such as ensuring stakeholder engagement and conducting thorough due diligence, remain unaddressed. Ann Odida, TV47.
Thank you, Anne. The national carrier, Kenya Airways, now wants the government to exclusively use them for air travel, lamenting that the flights taken by public officials account for less than half of total flights taken. Kenya Airways CEO Alan Kilavuka now says the government should forge policies to grant the national carrier exclusive rights like its counterparts in neighboring countries. And as Hibak Said now reports, KQ has now been challenged to provide better services for added competitiveness instead of arm-twisting the government. Take a look.
The national carrier Kenya Airways ended its loss-making streak in this half-year ending June by posting a net profit of 513 million shillings. On the back of reduced debt service cost, KQ rode into the light and now wants to launch fully into the skies of profitability by monopolizing all possible flight sales from the government.
Some government arms support us more than others. If we were to fly more than 80% government, it will significantly improve our performance, significantly improve the number of people who travel.
Given Kenya Airways has come under fire for all the wrong reasons, even so the president has played a key role in putting the national carrier back in good graces.
If you look at other countries, our neighboring countries, for example, they are required by law to travel by the national carrier. So we have had discussions with the government. They are also pushing the same to have exclusive government travel on us.
And what KQ should do is to avoid small weaknesses here and there that give people excuses to go elsewhere. This is your market. Work on it. Be aggressive. You are not as aggressive as it should be towards harnessing this government market.
Many within the public service spheres still feel KQ must offer better value in their services in areas such as pricing, as competition stiffens from private airlines.
I travel more in my private engagements than public engagements. So when I am your customer on the government side, you should extend the same benefits to my private travels.
KQ is now diversifying its service offerings, especially for executive government travel, through an office at the KICC, the very same conventional center being veered towards private ownership.
I will not use the word privatization, I'll use restructuring. And we have internally restructured to make sure that the entity falls to a path of profitability. So the government is at liberty to, it is a government entity, 100% owned by the state, and therefore the shareholders, who is the government, of course have liberty to deliberate about the investment.
The fate of the national carrier now remains in the hands of the government, tasked to enforce the use of its services to public servants. Some of the challenges that have been highlighted by KQ include the fact that the national government is taking other airlines. However, such airlines are saying that their sales are being hit by the route monopolization of KQ itself. Hibak Said for TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Hibak. A section of UDA members of Nairobi County Assembly have expressed concerns regarding the heated exchanges recently witnessed between Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja over service delivery in Nairobi County. The MCAs are now urging the two leaders to stop pointing fingers and instead reconcile for the good of the city dwellers. Arnold Adidi has the full story.
In the recent weeks, it has been tit for tat between Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja as the two leaders publicly clashed regarding the welfare of city dwellers, particularly traders in Nairobi.
Na hata kama uliniombea kura na nakushukuru, lakini uliniombea kura wewe ukuwe governor wa Nairobi ama mimi.
However, this tussle appears not to sit well with a section of UDA-allied MCAs in the County Assembly of Nairobi. While addressing members of the press today, the MCAs led by the Nairobi County Assembly Minority Leader Mark Mugambi have called upon Gachagua and Sakaja to halt the verbal exchanges and instead embark on a joint mission to better lives for Nairobians.
Ile njia tunaenda sio mzuri katika nchi hii na especially katika county hii. Tunauliza rais na deputy wake waite wanasiasa wetu na wawaambie wakome siasa ambazo zinaweza gawanyisha watu wetu na siasa ambazo zinaweza hujumu mipango yetu kama chama na kama serikali, especially hapa Nairobi.
The members of County Assembly have further warned that the rift between Sakaja and Gachagua could jeopardize proper services in the capital, urging the two to put away their differences.
Nairobi ni county ambayo ni ya jamii zote, very cosmopolitan, na inahitaji ya kwamba ikuwe handled kwa makini sana. Statements zozote kwa wakubwa ambazo zinaweza tugawanyisha kama wana Nairobi, zinatudhuru kama wananchi, kama viongozi, kama biashara.
Early last week, while on a tour within the city, the Deputy President accused Nairobi Governor of abandoning traders.
Tuliza gavana mketi chini, kuwe na mazungumzo, kuwe na maelewano, kwa sababu watu hapana viazi. Huwezi toa watu hapa kama gunia.
Hours later, Governor Sakaja was up and blazing towards the Deputy President.
I'm the elected governor. Na ile kitu tunafanya Nairobi sio ya kabila hii ama kabila lingine. There will be order in the city of Nairobi.
The recent engagements between these two leaders from the ruling party have raised eyebrows, with a section of Nairobi MCAs insisting that the differences must be erased.
Tuko chama moja na watakubaliana, na niko na uhakika kufikia leo ama wakati wote hivi karibuni watakaa na wataweza kuwasiliana na kukubaliana.
Arnold Adidi, TV47.
Thank you, Arnold, for that. As the lecturers' strike enters the 6th day, public university staff in Nairobi County were treated with tear gas and running battles with the police officers as the union leaders vow to continue with the strike until they strike a deal that suits them. Anastasia Mukabi reports.
Members of KUSU and URSU turned out in large numbers to present their petition to the Treasury, the Ministry of Education and the Parliament. Police officers stopped them at the gate as they marched from University of Nairobi Graduation Square, and those who made it were hurled at tear gas. However, this did not stop them from presenting their petition to Parliament.
Today we went to Parliament. Our petitions were received by the registry and they have been stamped. The only petition, two petitions that we want to take, that we are taking on Monday. The one for Ministry of Education and the National Treasury.
Nonetheless, as they emerged at Jogoo House and Treasury, they found the premises heavily guarded, resulting to some of the lecturers getting arrested and others injured, a situation that made them question the state.
We want to condemn the unnecessary police brutality that they meted out on our peaceful members who are merely exercising their constitutional right.
We have done this kind of peaceful demonstrations before, and there was absolutely no reason as to why one would block us to do what is constitutionally allowed to be done.
These dons have declared that they will not back down from a fight and will intensify their strike until their demands are fulfilled.
The reason why River Nile must reach Minister of Education, he is the one spreading lies that we have reached consensus. There is no consensus we have reached. So we want him to see this petition. The police officers in this country, we are going to give you notice for next Monday today. Don't scare us. We are URSU and KUSU.
Anastasia Mukabi, TV47, Nairobi.
On that striking report by Anastasia Mukabi, we want to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we have more news, including sports. And don't forget, tonight, we speak to the Governor of Murang'a County, the Honorable Dr. Irungu Kang'ata. Do stay with us and keep your feedback and questions coming. Even tonight, as we ask you, are you satisfied with the performance of your county governor, and where would you like them to improve on? Are you satisfied with the performance of your county governor, and where would you like them to improve on? Send us your questions, comment, or feedback. 22047 is our SMS line. Our WhatsApp number will be also on your screens shortly. We shall also be giving you an opportunity to call in live and ask the governor the questions you'd like him to answer. Do stay with us. We're back in a short while.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2. What position were you? Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
You're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora.
It is exactly 35 minutes past the hour. We thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to the Daily Report with me, George Maringa. On sign language is Irene Chebiwot. Just to remind you, we will be having the conversation with the Governor of Murang'a County on matters devolution and service delivery. Keep your feedback, questions and thoughts coming in. To some more news, the Kenya Maritime Authority is set to accredit Mount Kenya University as a maritime academy in Malindi on Thursday. As Joash Onsare reports, the authority has confirmed that the institution has met the threshold for certification. Take a look.
The maritime sector is set to get a major boost as training opportunities improve for prospective workers. A big reason for this positive outlook comes from the move by Mount Kenya University to launch maritime training courses. The new courses by MKU have won a nod of approval from the Kenya Maritime Authority, as confirmed by Captain Peter Munga, Head of Education at the Kenya Maritime Authority.
We have now training institutions that are coming up, and one of the latest ones to come into the market is not really market, but say the industry or the maritime space is Mount Kenya University.
We are entering into this space to also do research in this so that we can be able to contribute into new ways of changing the normal that is there today.
As the country continues to grapple with unemployment among the youth, the maritime sector is pregnant with opportunities.
Jobs are there, and what we are trying to do is to make sure that the skills, the training, the certification, and all the workforce that is required to meet these jobs, we are able to produce. Yeah.
So far, Mount Kenya University has assembled a wide variety of relevant equipment which will be key in training various courses related to maritime operations.
If we look at the kind of facility that they have in Malindi, the equipment that is provided, and generally all the infrastructure that is required for training, I think it is one of the training institutions that is really coming to change the narrative for Kenya as a country.
We also have state-of-the-art safety equipment. We also have state-of-the-art firefighting equipment for the training. In addition to that, we have also the other facilities that will enable our students to study without challenges and impact the right skills.
Accreditation of MKU Maritime Academy in Malindi will happen on Thursday.
On 26th, there's an event which will be happening in Malindi. We'll be issuing the certificate officially for the approval of training at Mount Kenya University.
Joash Onsare, TV47, Malindi, Kilifi County.
Thank you, Joash. 60 hyenas have so far been captured as Kenya Wildlife Service officers continue carrying out an operation to hunt down a pack of hyenas which have killed several people and caused widespread panic to a section of residents from Nyasaba, Athi, Jujafam and Muthara in Juja, Kiambu County. Joseph Dadacha, the Assistant Director of KWS, confirmed the tally, urging residents to be patient and to cooperate with the officers to secure the area. On the other hand, Juja MP George Koimburi has urged the officers from KWS to hasten the hunting operation so as to regulate the number of threat cases caused by the hyenas.
Naomba wapige doria kabisa, na ikiwezekana tuwe na kituo cha hao maafisa hapa karibu na sisi ili tuweze kuwa safe kabisa.
Tunakaa na wasiwasi kabisa kwa sababu hata kuenda manyumbani tunaenda mapema. Hatuwezi kaa huku. Si unaona hata hakuna watu. Watu wameenda manyumbani mapema. Hata busheri zimefungwa. Sasa tunakaa na wasiwasi.
Mimi nimekuja na torch ambazo zitamulika ukitembea kila mahali, tembea na hiyo torch. Hizi torch ambazo sio nyingi, haziwezi toshea kila mtu. Nikija nazo tunapatia wazee, tunapatia wamama wale wanatembea usiku, ndio angalau usitembee ukiogopa.
Kufikia sasa fisi zaidi ya 60 wameweza kushughulikiwa katika eneo hili. Wengine tumeweza kuwakamata, wengine tumeweza kuua, na pia wengine tumeweza kuweza kuwatoa hapa na kupeleka katika sehemu zingine.
Sports News brought to you.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2. What position were you? Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2. What position were you? Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
As number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
As number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire,
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
motivate,
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
and break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching The Daily Report. Thank you for staying with us. I'm George Maringa. On sign language is Catherine Simaloy. Tonight we speak to the Governor of Murang'a County, County 021, that is the Honorable Dr. Irungu Kang'ata. Thank you for coming, Dr. and welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much, and I'm happy to be with you.
Okay, brilliant. It's been a busy day, I reckon, for you.
Yes, today we were in a place called Idanga in Igatanga to distribute hybrid certified maize plus fertilizer in a program that targets 57,000 farmers. Yes.
So you were ranked as, a ranking of 62% among the top 10 governors. First of all, how did that make you feel?
Well, whereas it might appear good, I think from where we sit, the issue is not about being number one or number last.
Okay.
It's about service delivery. At the end of the day, it is the people of Murang'a who will make a determination as to whether we are doing a good job or not. And therefore, I believe each governor is doing his best for his people. And for me, it's not an issue of being number one. I feel there's a lot to be done. There is poverty in our region. And until the day we eliminate poverty in my county, that is the day I will be happy. And the journey is very, very long.
Yeah, I notice you have the shirt labeled Inua Mkulima. If you could talk to us about that program.
Yes, Murang'a County government has various economic programs that are whose intention is to lift people out of poverty. And one of the flagship program is called Inua Mkulima.
Yes.
It has three facets. Number one, we target mango farmers who are largely inhabitants of the lower region of Murang'a. We entered into MOU with 3 private companies who uptake our mangoes. Before the program, our mango farmers used to earn about 2 bob per kg of mangoes, but after the arrangement, they now earn 16 bob per kg. Then you add a subsidy of 7 bob, so each earn about 23 shillings per kg. Secondly, the people in the upper region, to incentivize them to enter into cooperatives, we used to send them a subsidy of 3.5 shillings per kg of milk taken to a cooperative. But now we changed the model. We now have given them an e-voucher, a card. They go to a shop, they redeem various goods, including food stuff like flour and also farm inputs like artificial insemination, milking jelly, feeds, and that way you uplift farmers. But also today we have commenced the program of distribution of fertilizer, which is 16 kg per farmer for free, plus hybrid certified seeds for the maize farmers, which we bought from Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, CALO, and also Simlo Seed. The idea is to boost food productivity in Murang'a County.
Okay. The revenue, raising measures that, you have implemented have enabled you to achieve up to 100% of own-source revenue. When you came in, what were the rankings at the time, or what were the percentage that the county would be able to gain at the time?
When we came in, we found Murang'a County was getting, or rather raking in 500 million per annum as own source revenue.
Okay.
But as at now, June 2024,
yes,
we collected 1.1 billion Kenya shillings.
1.1 billion.
Yeah, that's almost doubling within that period we have been in office.
Did you, what are the incentives you did? Did you expand the tax base?
We did not increase our tax. In fact, the last financial bill that has been passed by County Assembly was in 2018.
Okay.
What we did was to do 2 things. One, to automate. Murang'a has about 32 revenue streams: parking, markets, cess, hospitals, lands, all that. People pay through automated means. That has boosted compliance rate and efficiency. Number 2, we now went to do something we call to incentivize our employees, to take them to seminars, giving them presents, and also converting the employment from casual to contractual.
Okay.
And probably that also helped. And number 3 also, probably people see a correlation between what they are paying and the services they are receiving. Yes.
Do you think the conversation, there has been a discussion that we need to review the constitution in terms of the allocation that goes to counties? Is the 15% minimum the threshold, in your opinion, should it go higher or should it be at the prerogative of the executive?
It would definitely ought to go higher for several reasons. One is the rate of inflation.
Okay.
You see, a shilling that was 1 shilling in 2015 is not 1 shilling in 2024. A shilling loses value. So you ought to be increasing allocation of money to the counties to beat inflation. Secondly, there has been several laws that have been passed by the National Assembly which have impacted our payroll. And payrolls tends to be the largest components of our county budget. So, for instance, the National Assembly introduced a housing levy. They're also proposing to increase contribution to social health authority. All that then means our wage bill has been expanding, and therefore we need funds to cover that.
Okay.
Plus also, whatever we do to support the people at the local level, the demands keep on increasing. And that then means we need to ensure the resources coming from Nairobi, they need to expand simultaneously.
Do you think what would be the stalled cogs of the wheel in terms of trying to persuade the executive that indeed, whereas it is at 15%, this amount can go higher?
Yes, that's a constant conversation between the Council of Governors.
Yeah.
And I believe that there'll be a conversation as we elect new leaders into CUG on 7th of October.
Okay.
Yes.
Will you be fronting yourself for any seat in the CUG?
Yes, I have lodged my documents to seek to be the vice chairman of CUG. But this is more of service delivery. It's not something that ought to be contentious. And therefore, I leave it to my colleagues to see whether I can deliver that position. If I can't, it's okay. I think each governor who is currently serving is as competent as any other governor.
The people who have argued, the CUG is a body that exists, in its entirety, yes, but, it has been argued in terms of its efficacy and advocacy in trying to, push for service delivery in the counties. What exactly, would be your defense in the establishment of this CUG?
I think CUG has done a good job so far in terms of pushing for devolution, but more can be done, particularly in embedding into a law. I think time has come for us to have a CUG Act, which will definitely define and expand the role of CUG. Yes.
Okay, and when you go for the vice chair position, what would be your key, itemization that you'd want to advocate for?
Remember, vice is a deputy of the chair. So I think best case scenario is to be subservient to whoever becomes the chair. And I don't think it is fair to appear as if you have your own agenda per se that departs to the vision of whoever becomes the chair.
The chair.
So I would propose we leave it at that as we wait to see whoever becomes the chair, what will be his or her core vision for the CUG.
Okay.
Yes.
The telemedicine in your county is also a program that seems to be working. If you could, break it in a nutshell, rather break it into pieces, what exactly that that does for the people of Murang'a?
We do have patients who have chronic non-communicable diseases like mental illness, hypertension, diabetes. They usually come for clinics at Murang'a level 5 or Maragua. But knowing Murang'a how expansive it is, a person coming from villages near the forest, coming to Murang'a and going back, that might cost about 1,000 Kenya shilling travel costs, plus lunch. So you find a patient expending about 1,500 to reach Murang'a. So therefore, we came up with the idea of the doctor in Murang'a. He can be able to use technology and see a patient up near the Aberdares forest or even our border with Machakos. And this was enabled to the fact that we have automated our county services almost 100%. We have put internet, which is stable. We have put computers. We have put local area network. Also solarization of some specific facilities, meaning the power can be a little bit stable. And therefore, we decided to try this method. Don't travel far. Sorry. Don't travel far. Go to your nearest dispensary. Talk to a doctor who is in Murang'a. And then you get your medicine. And that's it. You go back to your work. We think that will give patients better health outcomes. But of course, there are challenges. One, internet connectivity. There are instances we do experience downtime. Secondly, patients are paying because we told them, surely, you need to support us on this. We may not be able to offer free service. And therefore, there are instances where patients feel a little bit some pushback or they feel the service is a little bit expensive, except those who have the county medical care card, which is called Kang'ata Care. They are paying consultation 100, but they are getting free medicine. So there has been positive, but of course some challenges here and there.
This Kang'ata Care, what does it entail?
Murang'a County Government entered into a memorandum of understanding with NHIF, where NHIF provides a medical cover for free to 40,000 households which are poor. We pay NHIF some money, in fact about 320 million per annum, and then they provide free services to 40,000 households. That might translate to about 160,000 individuals. When those individuals go to hospitals, they get free inpatient and outpatient services, dental and optical care, and last expense insurance cover. Meaning, if you are a person under that scheme, you pass on or your dependent passes on, you are entitled to 100,000 Kenya shilling for free. That defrays your, let's say you left some children in school, they can use that money to pay for fees. But of course now, we are shifting to something we call SHIF.
Yes.
So we are still negotiating with the SHA, now it's called Social Health Authority, to see how we shall transit our people to SHA. We wrote a letter just the other day to ask them to transit our people to SHA. So we are having some discussion. We hope the transition will be seamless. Yes.
How effective, in terms of comparison, do you think that, or the lessons perhaps even SHA and the national government can pick from your program?
I am a little bit reluctant to say that Murang'a Kang'ata Care is a SI unit for good service delivery. I know national government has its own vision on what it can do to improve the people's health outcome. Be that as it may, our programs remain fairly popular amongst the people. I've gone to the villages, I've seen people saying they have been paid bills worth 800,000 Kenya shillings, 400,000 Kenya shillings. So I think the impact has been positive. Many poor families in Murang'a would have sold their pieces of land were it not for that important intervention.
Yeah.
And therefore, for us, it remains quite, I think, one of our most important intervention. Even those people who don't have that card, we always tell them it's positive for you because you'll be called to do harambes for your kin's people. Yeah? Of course, when one person is sick in a village, you find almost 100 persons contribute to support that person. Meaning, once the county government supports that person, the 100 persons get a saving. So, and by the way, part of that money comes back to the county. How? These people, they get something called capitation, meaning they choose a facility where they go for outpatient facilities, and NHIF sends that money to the county as capitation. Also, if they go for inpatient services and they choose Murang'a hospitals, we claim that money back. So in a way, you find we might pay 320 million, probably 200 million comes back to the county. Yes.
Okay. And what's the population you'd like to target to enroll perhaps by the end of this year?
Okay, Murang'a has about 1 million residents. About, according to NHIF data, about 20 or 30% of them, they have their own medical insurance cover.
Okay.
But the best case scenario is to reach 100% coverage. So when you put in our county medical insurance scheme, maybe we may be about 40% or 45%. So we have 55% of Murang'a people who do not have any cover. If we were to get more money, we can onboard more people into this scheme.
Okay.
But that is dependent on the kind of money we will get from whatever source.
Okay. Staying with that, our SMS line is open as well as our WhatsApp number. We'll also give you a chance to call in and ask the governor the questions. Still on Kang'ata Care, my name is Lynette Mburu. I'm married at Murang'a County, Mathioya. I come from Kiambu County. Am I eligible for Kang'ata Care?
Yes, if you reside there, you can come, but of course through your husband. But for you to join Kang'ata Care, you do not apply.
Okay.
You don't do a letter, no.
So what happens?
We usually announce and say, on a certain date, on a certain venue, anyone who is interested to get this card, come. These are the criteria. Mainly, if you have certain diseases, let's say like diabetes or such, you come, bring documents, then we shall vet you. The first year, 20,000 people came and applied. We covered all of them, the households. Second year, 43,000 persons came seeking to get the card. Our budget was 30,000. But we decided, okay, let's onboard everyone because it's the right thing to do. However, when we took the 43,000 names to NHIF, about 5,000 were deemed as people already enrolled into NHIF through other schemes. Therefore, one couldn't get two cards. So 5,000 names were cancelled. So 38,000 are the ones who are currently into the system. Now, when you add their dependents, their spouses, their children, that number now comes to about, let's say, 150, 40 or thereabout. Yes.
Do other counties come to benchmark and see what you're doing? Because all this sounds, like a good success story, especially on matters of healthcare.
Lamu County had such kind of a scheme.
Okay.
Where Kiambu came to Murang'a, and we are happy. I think they have such kind of a cover currently. I think it covers about, yes. We also have, to the best of my knowledge, those are the two other counties that I'm aware of this scheme. Mombasa had said they're interested in doing it. So we are still, but I can only vouch for Kiambu and what we call Lamu. Also, also some other programs. I know other counties, even us, by the way, we learn from other counties. Let me just say that. A good example is we have a program called Smart City Program, where we put tarmac in specific targeted urban towns. That idea, we took it from Kakamega during the reign of Governor Oparanya. Yeah, we have done, I think, now about 15 markets or towns in Murang'a. Also, we do refurbish ECDs. That idea, we took it from Kwale County during the reign of Governor Salim Vure. Yeah, where we put terrazzo, we put a ceiling. Yeah. We do have a school feeding program where we give every day fortified porridge to our 42,000 ECD learners. We are happy Nairobi took that idea. In fact, it upscaled it, which is progress. Of course, parents pay in Nairobi, but they pay minimally. Murang'a, they don't pay. But we might also consider upscaling it to the primary school. We are currently doing a pilot in 55 primary schools to see whether it's sustainable, so that we upscale to primary school. So I think there is no end to a good thing. A musician said that. So you have to look for best ideas from wherever, and people can also come and see what they can pick from Murang'a.
What's the secret that you employ in terms of your administration and service delivery that could be different in terms of, even we've seen the numbers you've talked about, you automated revenue raising from 500 million to 1.1 billion. What are some of the attributes that perhaps you could say, do you find it easier to work with other leaders? How is the environment like in Murang'a?
I think that question is best answered by other people, not me. And the reason is, there's a Kikuyu saying that he who talks about himself must talk good. Yeah, so that be best answered by that parties. But be that as it may, we believe we are not the brightest. We believe in collegiate exercise of power. You consult the assembly. The Assembly of Murang'a is a very important institution. Yeah, it has very bright young people. Yeah, you sit down and discuss and do what is good for Murang'a people. We also have very important executive members like the CECs, like chief officers, directors, county employees. So you sit down and talk. Yeah.
Apart from Smart City, there is also the Matters Education, and there is Uji in schools, I gather, as well.
Yes.
How is that program running along, especially for the ECDs?
Now, this is an idea that I noticed when I was a member of Parliament of Kiharu.
Yes.
And later when I became a senator. There is an NGO called Food for Education that gives food in Dagoretti. It's headed by a lady called Wawera. So I could see what my colleagues were doing in Dagoretti, later on Kiambu town constituency. So immediately I became a governor, I looked for Wawera. I told her, I'm very interested to bring this program in Murang'a. However, it was the first time they were coming in a rural setting. So it was a learning experience on their part. Remember, Kiambu town, or let's say Dagoretti, it's a small constituency of about, let's say, about how many schools? I think about 20 or 15 or so. But Murang'a, you are talking of 700 ECD schools dispersed in rural setting. 42,000 ECD learners who need to take porridge on a daily basis. So it was a humongous exercise to achieve that. And the model is about transporting. You build kitchens, then you transport. That brings huge logistical effort. And therefore, and also acceptability. we had to do a lot of public education to convince people this is good uji. We even had to innovate and tell parents, can you elect one uji champion to be looking at the hygiene angles of this endeavor. But I can tell you it later on became one of our important programs. The numbers of ECD learners skyrocketed. Now we have more children going to school because of that program. And we thank God it has been an important intervention. Parents used to pay about 20 shillings per cup in some schools to get that porridge. Now they don't pay anything. And we think poor parents now can proudly take their children to school.
Yeah. What is the acceptance rate? You've talked about acceptance. The enrollment rather in schools. Do you think it has increased, or do you have the figures?
Yes, it has increased. I think we came in at about 30,000 ECD learners. Now they range between 37,000 to 42,000, which for us we think it's positive.
In all these, where are the programs for the youth, or what focus areas that you're looking at to empower the young generation in your county?
Young people's main concern is about employment. Yes. Kenya has a huge level of unemployment amongst young people. We may not practically employ these young people into Murang'a County government. Remember, our payroll consumes 46% of our budget. In fact, when you now go to the real budget, it skyrockets to about 53%, which is against the law, because the law talks of a cap of 35%. We are being pushed by Senate and the control budget, or even our auditors, to fire people. But we can't agree. That's immoral. So we decided now what we do. That's why we came up with a program called Murang'a Youth Service. It has regulation and a policy that underpins it that was passed by the Assembly. The rationale of it is, or how it works, we tell young people, if you don't have employment, come before our chiefs come. We give you a ballot, written yes and no. If you pick yes, you join the program. We pick about 30 youths per ward, per cohort. They go and clean our towns. We pay them 400 shillings per day. 100 shillings go to the parent. Then after 2 months of cleaning and community work, they now transit to polytechnics of the county. They choose a trade, let's say painting, tiling, whatever trade you want, beauty. After 2 months, you now join, we pay for you an examination coordinator, grade 3 test. Once you pass, we give you 15,000 to go and open your business, and we also give you a tax waiver for 1 year. So you don't pay county for 1 year. Yes.
What business, would you be aiming to open with, 15,000?
Okay, some people can use that money to buy for tools. Yeah, you can even open a kinyuzi, you can buy whatever. We are talking of people in a rural setting.
Yeah.
You can also use it as a collateral and seek more money from banking institutions. The choice is yours.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you look at, the future of Murang'a County, where would you what's your vision board if you look at between now and between your first term as governor? What would be your vision board in terms of the highlights that you'd like to see apart from, Kang'ata Care and others?
Okay, first is to pray these programs, they grow big and bigger, and they impact more and more families. Remember what I said in the beginning, that the journey to transform Murang'a is long. And I'm not so sure we can achieve that within whatever period that we will serve. Others will come and do better job when we are long gone. Be that as it may, there are some programs that we would want to achieve. There are two. One is to upscale the school feeding programs from ECDs to the primary schools. And we are currently doing a pilot. But when we do our maths, it shows we need 200 million per annum to achieve that. But if we achieve that, so many positive things would accrue to the people of Murang'a. Number one, creation of jobs. That ecosystem would employ an extra 4,000 or 3,000 young people. Plus farmers. Remember, that program would require suppliers of tomatoes, onions, and other perishables, and also non-perishables like rice. So there would be huge spillovers that would help Murang'a people. That's one. Number two is in the area of agriculture. We are currently giving out certified seed and fertilizer. We pray we have good rains and we have good harvest. But the question will remain, where do we take that maize to? We are engaging private players to uptake our maize. And God willing, we want to give a guaranteed price of 3,500 per bag. If we achieve that, then the rural incomes will rise, because currently our maize farmers, they sell a bag about 2,000 Kenya shilling. So if we can give a guaranteed price of 3,500, then that will transform lives at the rural level. And we increase money circulation at that level. And that would be progress. Yeah, so for us, our vision is to link the industry with our farm inputs. Or outputs. You see, when you're a rural farmer, generally people farm for consumption. You plant maize, you eat. That's it. But I think that's not the best way forward. If we could now commercialize, you eat, but you have some excess which you can sell to the market, then definitely you are now transiting the people from subsistence to commercial farming. And that is how people move out of poverty. When people get money. Remember, United Nations defined poverty as people who are if you can create an ecosystem where these people are earning more out of their endeavors per day, that would be the best way to fight rural poverty. And that's our vision.
Okay. We saw you give out and distributed bursaries over the weekend. There has been a conversation that some quarters argue that to resolve the funding issues, it would be best to collapse all these bursaries into one. What's your opinion about that?
First, I wouldn't mind, by the way, if indeed they were to do the correct calculations and promise Kenyans that if we do the collapsing, every Kenyan child will go to school for free from primary to the university. I can tell you I'll be the first person to surrender Murang'a's portion of bursary to such kind of a basket. But of course, we need evidence. It's very easy to calculate that. So let's wait for those who will give us that analysis. Be that as it may, before that time happens, Murang'a bursary scheme is divided into several interventions. The first targets young people transiting from primary to secondary. If you are automatically between number 1 to number 5, we give you 15,000 to transit. Why? One is to promote equity, because then every primary school benefits automatically from that intervention. There's no discrimination. Regional. Secondly, to promote meritocracy. Yeah, because everyone knows, okay, if I do put my best foot forward, I'll get this kind of money. The other thing, the other intervention is a program called Nyota Yetu that we found there, but we decided to continue with it, that target poor people, and it supports them up to Form 4. We have been continuing with it. Thirdly is ward bursary. Members of the county assembly, they also need to feel part of the government. So we told them, you guys give us names at your ward level, we give you this allocation, we support. The other intervention is for orphans or students with disability. We give them, I think, about 10,000 in January, as long as you give evidence of being an orphan or a person with a disability who is in school. Yes.
Okay, brilliant. And, just briefly, the conversation of overrepresentation in this country, what would be your opinion on that in terms of, even from a legal perspective, 14 years into this constitution, are we overrepresented as a people?
There are two sides to that debate. Let me start with yes.
Okay.
One can argue, possibly yes, when you do a comparative analysis. I give an example of a country like India. India is about 1.4 billion residents. And 1.4 billion residents, I think their parliament is about 500 parliamentarians, compared to Kenya, which has about 340-something members of parliament, vis-a-vis a population of 15 million. Yeah. What about counties? Kenya has about 47 counties with 50 million residents. US has, I think, 50 or something, 50 states. But it has about 400 million residents. So one sees that imbalance. However, you must understand the political problems that
exist.
The drafters of the constitutions intended to cure. And therefore, if you collapse, let's say, for instance, counties, you might lead yourself into some problems that you may not see on the face value. And one of the reasons the draft of the constitution decided to have so many counties, it was to circumvent the problem of ethnic politics. If you are to collapse the counties into smaller, let's say, counties,
yes,
or rather to bigger counties. Let's say, for instance, you have 8 counties to coincide with the former provinces. There are risks which you might encounter. Number one is you create very strong devolved units that have the power to potentially secede. And they will have governors who are so powerful, who can easily torpedo the central government. And there are historical examples for that. One best example is in Nigeria, the first Republic of Nigeria between 1963 and I think 1966 or 67.
Okay.
When the country was divided into 3 regions of the northern, where we had the House of Fulani, the southwestern, where we had Yoruba, and the southeastern, where we had Igbo. And the Igbo decided to fight what we call the Biafran War. It was so devastating that once they were defeated, the constitution decided to split up those regions. The same with our colleagues here in Southern Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah. So the point is, at times, you must understand devolved units can become centers of political agitation that can be very devastating to a country. So I think Kenyans need to debate that. I can only comment as a lawyer.
Governor, as you end up, when are you going to see the mountain restful? It is quite restless for now.
God will give us a way forward.
Are you sure?
Of course, God is the Almighty. He knows the best case for us. Yes.
In terms of even the squabbles we are seeing, what would be the best way forward out of it?
I quote a German chancellor.
Yes.
1800s. He was called Beachman Ottoman. Oh no, yeah, Bismarck. I think it was called Bismarck. He said, in times of political crisis and upheavals, a statesman should lie low, listening to the ground. And then he listens for the footsteps of God passing through historical events. Once he hears those footsteps of God, he rises and touches the hem of his cloak. He rises up. So the point is, we lie low, we wait to hear the sounding of the footsteps of God.
You played safe.
Sounding through history.
Sounding through history. You played safe there, Governor. Thank you so much for joining us. The Governor of Murang'a County, County 021, Dr. Irongo Kang'ata, speaking to us right here on the Daily Report. I'm George Maringa. Our sign language interpreter has been Catherine Simaloi. We want to wish you a good night from Nairobi. I'll see you tomorrow.